Welcome back to Computer Applications in Business, a subject we learn in the third semester of BCom program at Christ University, Bangalore, the course code of which is COH 332. In Unit 1, we discussed information systems and ERP systems. Unit 2 covered business intelligence and artificial intelligence, and we also deliberated on the fifth and the final unit, e-commerce framework. The various subtopics in each of these three units were discussed with adequate and relevant examples, case studies, and contemporary developments. Unit 3 and 4, which we had skipped initially and intentionally, is a split unit. Business data processing using Microsoft Excel, Part 1 and Part 2. These two units demand more hands-on experience, and therefore we decided to spend some extra time in both these sections. This modest attempt to develop video content to explain these concepts is also considering the limited time we have in our online classes. Hope these video tutorials that we share will in turn become useful, as it also gives the option to replay and retain these as a repository for further or future reference. As with the limitations of this being a non-interactive video, the ground rules of these tutorials are slightly different, because we don't have the luxury to discuss back and forth and won't be going in detail. However, you could always feel free to reach back to us and seek clarifications of doubts, if any, or if you want us to explain any specific topic a little more in detail, do reach us anytime. Please also do consider this as a basic template or a preparatory note that we provide you to gain a peripheral view or a bird's eye view with a general introduction to the topic. For an in-depth understanding, we therefore encourage you to do your own homework with, of course, the support and guidance of the faculty concerned, and also referring to the additional resources the faculties would be providing in the Google Classroom. Having said that, let's begin Unit 3, Business Data Processing, Part 1, using Microsoft Excel. Just as Microsoft Word or MS Word is mostly used for verbal representation of data, MS Excel is for numerical representation. It forms part of the Microsoft Office suite of software, and it is a spreadsheet developed by Microsoft for Windows, Mac OS, Android and iOS. We shall learn what a spreadsheet is in the subsequent slide, because we will be using this term repeatedly in the course of our discussion, and one needs to have a clarity about each of its features. Giving an overview at this stage, MS Excel features applications like calculation, graphing tools, histograms, charts, pivot tables, and a macro programming language called Visual Basic for applications. MS Excel has been a very widely applied spreadsheet, especially since the version 5 was launched in 1993. Till then, Lotus 1, 2, 3 was popular as the industry standard spreadsheet. So MS Excel replaced Lotus in 1993. Since then, for various applications like arithmetic operations, budget and balance sheet preparation, graphical representations, and several other mathematical applications, statistical analysis, and even engineering needs, MS Excel has been widely used. As I've been using the word spreadsheet a lot, for the benefit of the beginners, let me explain what a spreadsheet is, what elements and functions constitute a spreadsheet, and how does it look like. There were several versions of MS Excel, namely Excel 5 in 1993, which got upgraded in 95, later in 97, 2000, 2002 we had Professional, Windows Professional, 2003, 2007, 2010, 13, 16, 19, and today Excel 365 is considered the most advanced and updated version in the market. As you're aware, the features and options get upgraded in each of these newer versions. Now let's see how to open an Excel sheet. Just as we open a page in MS Word, when we double click the MS Excel icon, we open a sheet, and this is where you arrive, just as how you see it in the screen. We get a sheet like this with 1,48,576 rows and 16,384 columns. That's what makes a standard worksheet in MS Excel. As you can see, the columns are depicted using alphabets and rows using number. Naturally, a question might arise. There are only 26 alphabets. What is it after that? So after Z, the columns are repeated with alphabets, and it continues and ends at XFD, which means the last column is XFD. That's the title of the last column. Once you drag towards the right, you reach the last column. These columns and rows make a cell, and every such worksheet in, let's say, MS Excel 2019 version would contain 17179869184 individual cells, just as I've tried to explain in the screen. 1,48,576 rows, 16,384 columns, and 17179869184 individual cells. Now let's see what a worksheet is. A worksheet, as you see, is the working surface you interact with to enter data, mostly numerical data. Typically, A workbook contains several worksheets with related content, and only one of the worksheets is active at a time. Though you see 3 sheets in this worksheet, only one that is highlighted in green at the bottom is active. However, one can insert as many worksheets as one wants, and to quickly insert a new worksheet, all what needs to be done is to click the plus sign at the bottom of the document window. In short, as explained earlier, a workbook is the name given to an Excel file and contains one or more worksheets, and it is just like a collection of pages which constitutes a book. In other words, a collection of worksheets makes a workbook. Let us now understand some basic functions in the worksheet. To rename a worksheet, you may right-click the Sheet tab of Sheet 1, choose Rename, and type the name you wish to enter. Similarly, to move a worksheet, click on the Sheet tab of the worksheet you want to move and drag it to the new position. Deleting a worksheet is also easy. It can be done by right-clicking on the Sheet tab and choosing Delete. Instead of recreating an entire worksheet, which might be time-consuming, it is a lot easier to copy the worksheet and paste it in another sheet by just right-clicking the Sheet tab and selecting Move or Copy. You could copy the same data from one sheet to another. Well, these are all extremely simple and easy if you're familiar with Microsoft Word. You might have seen that most functions, such as what I was trying to explain, renaming, copying, deleting, etc., which we discussed, are pretty much similar to the MS Word functions. So we learned 4 functions: renaming a worksheet, moving a worksheet, deleting a worksheet, and copying a worksheet content to another sheet. Let us also gain some idea about what a cell address means. A cell address is made up of the column letter followed by the row number. For example, the cell that is the intersection of column A with row 1 has a unique cell address A1. Similarly, the intersection of column B with row 2 has a unique address B2. And this pattern follows for the rest, which means every cell on a worksheet has a unique address, which is the intersection of column alphabets and the row numbers. The name box in the top left corner always displays the address of the active cell. I shall talk more about the name box in another slide. So let's move on to the next slide. Just a quick recap of what we have discussed so far. Microsoft Office Excel or MS Excel is a computer program used to enter, analyze, and present mostly quantitative or numerical data. A spreadsheet is a collection of text and numbers laid out in a rectangular grid. We've seen a few examples earlier. And in Excel, one of the most common uses is a what-if analysis. And this what-if analysis lets you change one or more values in the spreadsheet and then assess the effect of those changes on the calculated values. With a few examples and of course a few hands-on experiments, we shall learn about what-if analysis in detail. Now that we have got a fair idea on the basics of a worksheet, let us try to explore the other parts of the Excel window before we do the what-if analysis. I shall explain it in a sequence, and kindly do pay attention to those highlighted in the screen explained in a particular order. At first, the Office button. The Office button is located in the upper left of the program window and is identified by the Office logo. The Office button allows you to open, save, and print documents and perform other document output functions, for example, fax or email. In short, this button provides access to workbook features and program settings. Number 2. Next is the Quick Access toolbar. It is located to the right of the Microsoft Office button, and it contains commands that are used most often, for example, redo, undo, and save, to save a document. It also allows you to customize the Quick Access toolbar, meaning that you can add and remove commands as you like. In other words, Quick Access toolbar offers a one-click access to commonly used commands. Third is the title bar. It displays the name of the active workbook or the document which is open. Fourth, Microsoft Excel ribbon. It is a row of tabs and icons at the top of the Excel window that allows you to quickly find, understand, and use commands for completing a certain task. The ribbon in Excel is made up of 4 basic components: tabs, groups, dialog launchers, and command buttons. 5. In Excel and other spreadsheet applications, the column header is the colored row of letters used to identify each column within the sheet or a workbook. I think it's quite visible in the screen as well. 6. A workbook window displays the Excel workbook. When your computer is running a single instance of Excel, all workbooks that you open are opened in a workbook window inside the Excel window. 7. There are 2 scroll bars in Excel. One is a vertical scroll bar, which is used to view the data in Excel from up and down, and another scroll bar is the horizontal scroll bar, which is used to view the data from left to right. 8. The zoom feature in Excel changes the scale of a worksheet. When you want to see more or less of a worksheet, use zoom to increase or decrease the magnification. So it is used to magnify or shrink the content. 9. View shortcuts are the buttons used to change how the worksheet content is displayed. Just as we do in MS Word, we could view a page in normal, page layout, page break, or preview view. So it's about how you wish to see the page being displayed. 10. Sheet tabs. These are the tabs that display the name of the worksheets in the workbook. 11. Sheet tab scrolling are the buttons to scroll the list of sheet tabs in the workbook. 12. Row headings. Row headings are the numbers that appear along with the left of the worksheet window to identify the different rows in the worksheet. 13. To select all cells on a worksheet, use one of the following methods. Click the Select All button as you get to see in the screen, or press Ctrl plus A. It selects all the cells in the worksheet. 14. An active cell. An active cell refers to the currently selected cell in a spreadsheet. Whenever you click on a specific cell within a spreadsheet, it becomes the active cell. Once a cell is selected, you can enter values or a function into the cell. 15. The name box. The name box is a box that displays the cell reference of the active cell. This name box has several functions. It displays the address of the active cell. It displays the name of the cell, range or object selected if this has been named. It can also be used to name a cell, range or object like a chart. And 16, the formula bar. The formula bar is where the data or formulas you enter into a worksheet appear for the active cell. The formula bar can also be used to edit data or formula in the active cell. The active cell displays the results of its formula while we see the formula itself in the formula bar. I'm sure at this stage many of these terms might sound like Greek and Roman, but once you get some hands-on experience, I think all of these concepts will become clearer. So as to gain more clarity and conviction in what we have discussed in the previous slide, I've added a one-line description to all those 16 terms that we had discussed. I hope this will give you a little more clarity and enhance your understanding. And it is important because these are terms which we would be using incessantly, regularly during the course of our discussion, and also once we start practicing with a few exercises. So it is important, or rather I would suggest you to take a screenshot of this, cross-verify with an open Excel sheet, and be confident to explain what each of these terms stand for or what these terms denote. Among the several advantages which Excel offers, one of the key advantage is it reduces data redundancy, the same data being stored in multiple locations. It also reduces the time for data processing because there are a lot of shortcut keys, there are lots of formulas. If once you are confident with, it really reduces the time for data processing and making a wise decision. So here I'm trying to make you familiar with some of the basic shortcuts. I don't think I need to explain any of these in detail because it's all self-explanatory. Maybe one or two I'll try to. Using arrow keys to move the cells up and down. Control plus End to the last cell of the worksheet. Using tab to move from one column to the right. And control plus page up plus control page down to the previous or next sheet in the workbook. So other things or other shortcuts you can try it on your own. So again, I would suggest you to pause the slide and try to experiment it by opening an Excel sheet, and by next class be familiar with almost all the concepts that we have discussed so far. Just as I mentioned at the outset, this is just an introductory video. I would suggest you to go back, refer to the additional resources which the faculties concerned would be sharing in your Google Classroom. Do your own research, find more relevant materials, probably some YouTube videos which adds value to this discussion, and be familiar with almost all the terms and the concepts that we have discussed in this small video. With that, I wind up and invite questions, if there are any, to the faculties concerned. Thank you.